Everyone thinks the humans are the villains of Avatar, but what if the real threat comes from the Na'vi themselves? Sit the fuck down for this one, because James Cameron didn't spend 15 years and $1 billion just to show you another round of mean, bald space marines bulldozing rainforests. You remember Jake Sully, right? Mr. Wheelchair Marine turned Blue Jesus? Yeah, he's still here. Neytiri, still badass, still shooting arrows like she's auditioning for Na'vi Hunger Games. The Sully kids, all grown, all traumatized, all swimming in that Disney Channel original movie drama that Cameron somehow makes look like Shakespeare. And our boy Quaritch? Yep, the asshole colonel who died in the first one is back again in his blue avatar body like the motherfucker can't just stay dead. And now he's angrier, bluer, and more racist than ever. But here's the twist. This time, the humans are not the only big bad. Oh no. Cameron looked at us and said, "You dumbasses keep crying about humans versus Na'vi? Cute. How about Na'vi versus Na'vi?" And then he dropped the Ash people on us. The Ash people, bro. Holy flaming shit. You ever meet someone who just radiates bad vibes? Like you walk into their apartment and it smells like unwashed laundry and resentment? That's the Ash people's whole deal. They're Na'vi, but they're not singing songs to Awa, not painting their bodies pretty, not doing spiritual yoga in the forest. They're pissed. They're black-smudged, suit-covered, scarred, and bitter motherfuckers who got burned by volcanoes and by life. And most importantly, they don't worship Awa anymore. They think Awa's a fraud. They think the whole Na'vi religion is a cosmic scam. Imagine telling the Pope that God ghosted him. That's what the Ash people are walking around saying. They're the ex-religious kids who grew up to smoke cigarettes behind gas stations and say fuck God with eyeliner on. And leading them? Varang. Oh, Varang. Strap in. Varang is not your Saturday morning cartoon villain. She's not twirling a mustache. She's not, destroy the trees. No, she's a pissed-off queen who lost everything. Whole land cooked, people dead, prayers unanswered. She looked at Awa, the mother brain tree spirit thing, and went, "You weren't there when my people burned. Fuck you." And instead of crying about it, she sharpened her rage into a spear and decided to torch Pandora herself. And because misery loves company, she shackled herself to Quaritch. Yup, this bitch teamed up with the most racist space jarhead in the galaxy. And it works, because Quaritch has got the guns, she's got the Na'vi knowledge, and together, they're like two divorced parents teaming up to ruin Christmas for everyone else. Now picture Jake Sully in this mess. My dude is walking around like a depressed dad who can't stop blaming himself for Neteyam's death. Neytiri's over there crying and sharpening arrows like she's about to commit triple homicide. The Sully kids are broken toys. And right when they're at their lowest, guess what? Varang shows up with her whole fuck Awa, fuck balance, let's burn everything energy. It's like life waited until Jake was lying on the floor with a migraine and then kicked him square in the dick. And let me tell you, the fights? Oh my God. The Ash people don't fight like the forest or water tribes. They're dirty. They use smoke, they use ash, they come at you from fire pits with teeth bared. They don't give a shit about balance. They fight like the kid in dodgeball who throws at your face on purpose. They fight like they've been waiting their whole life to vent their trauma on somebody else's rib cage. And when they're teamed up with human guns and mechs, bro, it's a fucking nightmare. Na'vi versus Na'vi with machine guns sprinkling from the sidelines, pure chaos. But here's the real horror, bro. Varang might be right. That's the brain melter. Because yeah, she's violent, yeah, she's teaming with assholes, but her core point? Awa let her people die. Awa ignored her prayers. Awa is supposed to be this perfect tree god binding all life, but when shit went south, silence. She's like, what good is a god who doesn't show up? And you sit there in the theater like, fuck, wait, she's got a point. Cameron's forcing you to sympathize with the villain. He's forcing you to go, maybe burning it all down makes sense. And that's scary, because now you're complicit. You're in Varang's headspace, and suddenly Pandora doesn't look so holy anymore. Meanwhile, Quaritch is laughing his ass off, because this is exactly what he wants. Na'vi fighting Na'vi. Divide and conquer, baby. Oldest colonial trick in the book. Europeans did it, Americans did it, empires thrive on it. Get the locals to hate each other, arm one side, and profit while they rip each other apart. And Varang, knowingly or not, is feeding right into it.
But she don't give a fuck, because for her it's personal. She wants Jake to bleed. She wants Neytiri broken. She wants to rip Awa out of the sky and piss on the roots. She's not just waging war. She's throwing a goddamn funeral for faith itself. Now let me drag you down a side alley real quick, because this whole Na'vi Civil War thing, it's not new. Humans have been doing this shit forever. Ever heard of Rwanda, Ireland? Hell, even the American Civil War was basically a giant fuck you brother match. Family fights are the bloodiest. And the Ash People storyline, it's Cameron holding up a mirror and saying, look at your own history, dumbasses. We love to think the worst evil is always the other, some foreign invader. Nope, sometimes it's your neighbor, your cousin, your own blood. That's the wound that never heals. That's what Cameron is feeding us, covered in blue paint and fire effects. Now back to the Sully kids. Loic, my boy is finally stepping up. Remember how he was the fuck-up son, always screwing things up and making Jake yell at him like a sitcom dad? Yet now it's his time. He's taking that pain, that chip on his shoulder, and he's stepping in Ateyam's empty shoes. Loic is about to go from shut up little bruh to holy shit, he's the one carrying Pandora on his back. Unless Cameron kills him too, because let's be real, Cameron loves stabbing us emotionally. Neytiri, still feral as hell, still traumatized, still ripping enemies in half while screaming. Spider, that half-naked human kid, he's caught in the middle because, surprise, his real dad is Quaritch. So now he's the Jerry Springer episode nobody asked for. You are the father. Imagine being a kid who has to choose between his genocidal dad and the foster family that treats him like a weird pet. That's Spider's whole arc. Messy as hell. And through all this, Jake Sully's dumbass is trying to hold it together. He's not the chosen hero anymore. He's a dad trying not to let his whole family collapse. And honestly, he's failing. He's cracking under pressure. And that's the point, because the story isn't about perfect blue Jesus saving the day anymore. It's about imperfection, about weakness, about breaking under fire. And in that vacuum, Varang thrives. Pain thrives. Chaos thrives. Let me hammer this in. The Ash People aren't villains. They're victims turned villains. They're not cackling evildoers. They're hurt people hurting people. And that shit is more real than any cartoon villain. Because we all know someone like that. Someone broken so bad, they decided to make everyone else pay for it. That's Varang. That's the Ash People. And that's what makes Fire and Ash the darkest avatar yet. It's not just humans want unobtainium. It's your own people will betray you when faith fails. That's a much harder pill to swallow. So yeah, the whole movie is this spiral. Fire, betrayal, family imploding, Jake begging his kids not to die, Neytiri going full war goddess, Varang tearing Pandora open like she's cutting an old scar, and Quaritch grinning while chaos does his job for him. And by the end, you're left with one brutal truth. The biggest threat to the Na'vi isn't the humans, it's themselves. And that's why I'm sitting here screaming this into your face, bro, because Cameron didn't just give us another villain. He gave us doubt. He made us question the Na'vi, question Awa, question everything we thought we knew about Pandora. And when a story makes you go, fuck, maybe the villain has a point, that's when it gets under your skin. That's when it stops being just a movie and becomes a goddamn sermon of chaos. And Fire and Ash, that shit's gospel.